Okay. So I got into creative AI or generative AI maybe in 2022 when I accidentally stumbled across Midjourney. And at the time, it was all in lockdown. There wasn't much to do but play around in Midjourney, which I did for a long time with quite a few people. So I don't know if anybody remembers an app called Clubhouse, if anybody ever went onto Clubhouse. Anyone
Yes,
remember the app? Maybe
yes,
not.
we remember
Okay, so it got a few people, a few victims of Clubhouse, and we used to go on there. Basically, it was like a social place where you can go and you can have conversations with people using your voice, pretty much like this, but with the video. And I used to hold night sessions where we would use Midjourney, and we would like have battling competitions. We would do tutorials, and I ended up actually teaching hundreds of people at this point how to use Midjourney. And funny enough, the demographic, my largest demographic was actually women who were over 50 years of age. So just somebody said, "What's Midjourney?" Midjourney is it's an app, it's a program or a website where you can go on and you just type in a prompt and out pops an image. It's probably it's the best image generator in my opinion on when it comes to generative AI. It is very, very creative. There's so much things that you can do with it. And they definitely are one of the big dogs when it comes to creating imagery with AI. So I used to teach a lot of people how to use Midjourney. And I found that with the demographic that I was teaching, they found it very therapeutic because a lot of them were told that they were never artistic. And then they were able to like put in a prompt and then these ideas would come out. And it really gave them a sense of achievement, even if other people may disagree and say, well, no, it's the AI that did it. For the people that were actually doing it themselves, they felt the same achievement they may have felt if they drew something, and that was really beautiful to watch. So I built a course which was like an online course where people can go to, because I really couldn't do the I really couldn't do the online teaching live thing for too long. When you've got 50 people in a room or one person's like, I don't know how to right click, it got really annoying. So um I ended up creating a whole course and got people on it, and it was just really beautiful watching people create artwork. And it was even more therapeutic for me because I was kind of going through a mourning period. I had several people that died during COVID. So it really was like a sense of something for me. It gave me a reason to get out of bed, put it that way. Literally, it gave me a reason to get out of bed, even if my desk was propped up right by the side of my bed, which is what I did. I moved it right by my bed. So all I had to do was just scoot over and boom, I'm by my desk. Um, so for about 2 years, I was, well, for from 2002 up until November last year, I was constantly just doing static images. And I did have ideas for films, but I didn't feel like video was really there yet. Um, a large majority, you've probably seen the Will Smith eating noodles kind of video that gets put around on social media. And there's like an old version of it and then there's a new version of it. I was at the old version stage, so I wasn't really comfortable with creating anything with video. But last year November, a friend of mine contacted me, and I was going through like another slightly depressive episode, and we had a long conversation, and she basically said to me, you need to just get your work out there, and you need to kind of tap into the video part. So I took that as my invitation, and I just started putting my work out, regardless of what it looked like, regardless of whether I was happy with it, regardless of whether it had three thumbs on one hand. I just threw stuff out there. And my first client actually was an ex-boyfriend of mine. who wanted me to create a music video. And the music video had it was a song that was done with actually one of my best friends who died, who I was actually mourning for. So it was it was like a circle that's now come round to me doing generative AI, doing a music video over someone who I'd literally been mourning over for the past 3 or 4 years. And I created this music video and I put it out. And there was this competition called Project Odyssey, which was the biggest AI competition in the world. And my video got first place in it. And I was ecstatic, I was joyful, I was confused, I was all of the things. Actually, let me quickly tell you a quick story about the night that the night that I won. So my friend came over from the States, and he knows I've got very terrible sleeping patterns. So he was like, I'm going to get you some melatonin and I'm going to make sure that we can get you to sleep. And in England, they have really strict laws with melatonin, but in the US, you could buy it by the bucket load over there. So he came over with some melatonin. He said to me, Diane, be careful when you take it because it will knock you out. And I'm like, no, I'm cool. Like, I'm fine. I ended up taking this melatonin and I fell asleep throughout the whole award ceremony. And it was online, thank God, because I would have probably fallen asleep if I was there. And I woke up at the end of it. And it's weird because I kept on waking up like in the middle of the ceremony and then falling back. So I was in and out of sleep, y'all. It was crazy. I've never felt like that before. And every time I kept on waking up in the middle of the ceremony, I was getting more vexed and more vexed. I'm like, wait, they haven't announced it yet. God. And then I'd fall back asleep again and I'll wake up. And I was just getting more and more annoyed. So when it got to the end of the ceremony, I was like, oh well, better luck next time. And then next minute, my iPhone was just blowing off by all of these people telling me congratulations on Twitter. And I was like, congratulations for what? I ain't done nothing. So I was so confused, but that's how I found out that I won the biggest competition in the world. And it really, it kind of threw me in different places. So I had all different people approach me. I had Kanye West producers approach me. I had Kevin Hart's production company approach me. And they were approaching me not just because of the Project Odyssey, but because they had also just seen these weird bits of work that I had thrown out on my Instagram. So fast forward a little bit, I'm still kind of creating and still kind of feeling a little bit shell-shocked by the win. I'm also, just to put it out there, I'm autistic and I've got ADHD. And as much as I love AI and as much as I kind of enjoy doing the work and getting praise for it, I get very overwhelmed by too much attention. So it kind of pulls me into my shell a little bit when I got this award. And I was like, oh shit, like now people are talking about me. I'm not really liking it as much. And then I kind of pulled back, but I was still kind of putting out work and doing more things. Then about a month after my win, I had Bergs, which is it's a university in Sweden, Bergs School of Communication. They contacted me and asked me to come and lecture to their students about AI filmmaking. And at that point, bearing in mind, I've only done like a few short stories and I've done a music video. I don't really know what I'm doing out here, right? But people are wanting me to come and speak at their seminars. They wanted me to come and lecture to their students. They wanted me to do workshops. And I'm one of those people where if you tell me to do something, I'm probably, and I ain't got no skill in it, I'm probably just going to do it anyway. And I may mess it up the first time, but I'm just going to do it anyway, because clearly you guys see something that I don't quite see yet, so I'm going to do it. So a lot of this year has been me putting myself in situations where I've never been before. And like, for instance, me doing the TED Talk next week, I'm speaking with people who are like massive CEOs of ginormous companies who have got XYZ amount of degrees and a master's in this. And like, I didn't even finish university. Do you know what I'm saying? So I feel really out of place being on stage with so many very well-to-do people. And then there's like this imposter syndrome that comes up that's like, oh, do you really deserve to be here? But the truth of the matter is I absolutely do deserve to be here because of the fact that I'm representing for everybody else who may not have i.e. the qualifications, who may not have had who may not have thought that they were artistic, who may not have thought that they had the accolades or whatever to speak. And I definitely feel that I do in so many different ways, not just in filmmaking, but just in life in general. So I'm kind of going back and forth and back and forth, but I've won quite a few competitions. I've been finalist for many competitions. My short films have played in everywhere from Moscow to Pinewood Studios. I have a few people who I can now call friends. Like for instance, the guy who created bullet time in The Matrix, he admires my work big time. I don't know if any of you guys are old enough to remember a film called Scanner Darkly. The guy who did the creative work on that, he absolutely loves my work. These are all people who I looked at and really admired the work, who are now admiring my work. And it gives me such pleasure to know that people who have traditionally been in this industry for so long can look at my work and be inspired by it. So I definitely feel that I have a place to talk no matter where I am. And I'm not going to let the fact that I haven't been doing this as long get me down, because I think the tools are just the tools, right? Everybody has stories. And I think I've naturally been quite a good storyteller. And I've gone through so much in my life. I've got reams of stories to tell people. And AI kind of levels that playing field for me to now have an idea on Tuesday, and then by the Sunday I've got a short film that's out about, you know, a little thing that happened to me when I was 6 years old or whatever. So my thing at the moment is really kind of homing in on the tools. I'm sponsored by a lot of companies now. I'm sponsored by Kling, I'm sponsored by Halo, I'm sponsored by PixFirst, like most of the top companies that you're looking at or using, if you're using generative AI in any particular way, they now sponsor me in terms of they give me free credits, I get to talk about them, I get to get free gifts sent to me and so forth. And that's great because these AI tools, as you know, they're bloody expensive. And to create an AI film, Lord have mercy, the amount of tools that I have to use. So I know somebody said earlier that they were creating work and they were trying to get this idea out, but they couldn't. Now, the thing is, 9 times out of 10, generative AI is so picky and choosy on what it wants to do. It's still not a precise science at the moment. So I'm constantly like dipping between all these different programs to figure out like what is the best program to use at the time, because there's no best program. You can't really, well, you can to a degree, but it would take a long time and you have to have the patience of a saint to really sit down and be generating 3,000 images to only use 1 or 2 of them. So understanding the tools is good, but I would say the tools are only secondary. Where we're talking about human connection, that's the part that should always come first. And for me, storytelling is the biggest part of AI, of generative AI. If we don't tell stories, people will just look at your little work and be like, okay, well, this looks good, but it's not capturing me. You need something to capture people's attention. And I found that using these tools not only kind of gives me not only does it give me a way to kind of just use amazing visuals, but I also get to play around with other things. So I get to do sound design, which is like a new passion of mine. It kind of invigorates things that I didn't even really know that I liked, which is what I really like about AI. So at the moment, there's a lot of talk about, okay, well, people are going to be out of jobs. And I'm really seeing in this industry that actually, no, there's a lot more people going into things that they didn't think that they would go into before. So for instance, you got the young boy who's now on Suno that's making all of these different tracks, but now he's realizing the limitations of AI. And actually, if I take the track out of Suno, I want to learn how to mix it so I can get a better sound. And those things can invigorate a new kind of passion in a lot of people. I never had a passion for filmmaking until November last year. Now I can't look at a film again. I'm looking at lighting. I'm looking at cinematography. I'm looking at how the story was told. I'm looking at story arcs, all of these things. I was not even speaking these things 12 months ago. Now it's become like my new obsession. And I have an absolute high respect for those people who have been in this industry for a long time, because it's not easy. I have to wear about 15 hats making a film. Do you know what I mean? And actually, in some ways, I think it may be quicker if I just shot the thing on a camera rather than just using generative AI. But it is what it is. So that's kind of like a brief, it's not very brief, but it's a brief kind of journey of where I've been at over the past 8 or 9 months. And it's been a wild ride. And the only thing I can really, really say to people is don't be scared of this technology, number one. Use it, don't let it use you, number two. Number three, if you have stories to tell it. And I don't care what it looks like. I don't care, like, you will get better over time. So don't aim for perfection all the time. Just try and get what you can out, because there are things that I put out which I think is magnificent. Like I've got a new film that I put out a couple of weeks ago called Wet. It's the best thing I've ever done. I keep watching it like somebody else made it, right? But the amount of views that I've got on it, not so much. The amount of people that have commented on it, not so much. Doesn't sway me in the least bit, right? I absolutely love that film. And then I put out films which I did in like 3 or 4 hours. Like I put out a film called Spider, which was a film about my son who came in my room the other night because he was scared of a spider being in his room. So I did a little video on what I really think the spider was doing in his room. I threw that out and I had more views on that and more people giving me accolades on that than I did on my film Wet. So don't worry about what you're putting out there, because there's a lid for every pot, and sometimes people gravitate to some things and sometimes people will gravitate to other things. So yeah, if anyone's got any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
I have a question. So first of all, thank you so much for your testimony, and I think it's really, yeah, it's very pregnant. So thank you for that. I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit more about, I guess it was Messiah who was talking about that earlier, like the business model of AI that now is charging more about. Uh, since I think Messiah, you said to think about the business model more in terms of output than input. So I'm wondering how it transferred to filmmaking, and what's your business model look like? I'm not asking you before and after because it sounds like you got into it at the time of AI, but I'm wondering what your business model look like as a filmmaker.
So I'll be honest with you, I am still winging it. I'm still not even 100% sure what my business model is. I'm still not 100% sure what I even want to do in this. I'm literally throwing spaghetti to the wall and seeing what sticks at this present moment in time. So I've spent 15 years working as a web designer and I absolutely loved it, other than probably the last 5 of those years where I got incredibly drained and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I feel like there's more to me. Like I've gone through so much in my life. I can't just be sitting here making websites until I'm in my 60s. That's wild to me. I feel like I've got something to pass on. So the past at least 13 months has been me trying to figure out what it is, almost like I'm going through a midlife crisis. I mean, I'm 45 in a couple of months' time, so maybe that is a real life crisis I'm going through. I'm not sure. But either way, I'm still trying to figure out like what the business model is. And everybody else who I know who is in this field is also trying to figure it out because it's so new. And pricing is a problem because we don't, some of us are not quite sure how much we should be charging for certain work. And there's such a low expectation of AI at the moment that, you know, these tech boys are like putting things out. Oh yeah, it took me 20 minutes to do this 4-hour movie using AI. Do you know what I'm saying? And it really sets the expectations of clients thinking that, okay, well, it could be done really quickly now. So let me just give you a fiver and we'll call it a day. And that's not the case. So you're kind of battling, trying to educate people how much work really goes into what you're doing. And then also trying to find a common ground in terms of, okay, well, even if I'm charging based on their on what they're getting out of it, I still need to work out how much credits I'm going to be using. I still need to work out how long I'm going to be working for. Not one project is the same. So one project will demand something completely different from you from it. Like it's not like web design where I can say, right, this is going to take me 15 hours to do. With a music video, I can spend months on a music video because I can't get things to work the way that I want to. So with web design, it's much more precise. I can get things to work how I want them to. With generative AI, it's not so much. So it's important that if you already have design skills, this is where you'll be able to accelerate, because you can take what you've done in Midjourney or in Sora, put that into Photoshop and do whatever you want with it. In terms of like video though, again, it depends on what video tool that you're using. It depends on the cost of that. So I don't really have a definitive answer for like what my role is, because I'm doing music videos now, but I don't really want to do music videos. I would rather spend my time teaching and talking and creating my own stuff. That's what I would that's what I personally want to do. I'm so done with client briefs and clients' ideas about anything. I'm full of ideas. Why don't I express that? Because that seems to be what's giving me, like, I'm getting more accolades for me showing my stuff rather than doing the stuff that I'm doing for other people. So I'm still working it out. And with generative AI, because it updates so quickly, like there's some things that I might be like, oh, I don't want to do music videos now, but then a new tool might pop up in a month's time that makes music videos easy, and then I'm back on my music video stuff again. So it's difficult. I need to work it out what I really want to do. But I know where my heart lies. My heart lies in teaching and talking.
This is amazing, and we wish we could speak to you for like hours on this topic, and hopefully you'll come back to the group at some point. You're always welcome in this group, but I would prefer to listen to you rather than a CEO any day of the week. Your story and the way you storytell is amazing. So they're in for a treat in Vienna. There was a question I just want to make sure that Bukunzi had the opportunity to ask that question. He wrote, how do you deal with criticism of traditional filmmakers who are Puritans, who look down and are negative about how technology has cut down the time to success, feeling they have not put in the work? He's had similar conversations about coding. So if you need to drop off, I recognize we are at time, but if you do have a moment to just answer that, respond to that question.
Yeah, sure. I've got time. So, how do I deal with criticism of traditional? So, to be honest, I don't really get that much criticism. And if I do, they say it in their heads. They don't say it to me, to my face at all. Do I get backlash online? Yes. So I don't know if any of you guys have seen I don't know if you guys know a singer called Omar. He did There's Nothing Like This, classic song,
Yes, he was
British
just on Tiny
singer.
Desk.
Yes, he just did a Tiny Desk the other day. Bloody took long, but yeah, at least we got him on there. So I did his latest music video, which was all AI. And it was the first time I kind of did a music video for a celebrity. And it was interesting seeing people's comments. And a majority of it was good comments because, you know, they just really love Omar and whatever he puts out. And then there was some comments which were like, oh, this is terrible. Why are you using AI and whatnot? And for me, I'll be honest, I don't really care for people's opinions about what I'm doing with my creativity. I'll be honest with you. And I don't feel that anybody really should. Like, you're in your lane, I'm in my lane, and never two lanes will cross. Like, I will never enter my videos into a competition where it's purely traditional filmmakers, because I respect the craft, but my way of doing it is different from their way. So I don't really care what they say in terms of, you know, any type of criticism. And I don't really care when people say, well, you're taking jobs away from people, because my idea would have still been my idea in my head, regardless. Do you know what I'm saying? There's loads of people that have got ideas in their heads that just stick in their head because they don't have the money, they don't have the team, they don't have a whole bunch of reasons. So for people to think that as soon as I have an idea that I automatically have the money to hire 50 people to then create that idea is wild to me. If I didn't have the money in the first place, I haven't taken any jobs from you, because it wasn't a job to be created in the first place. I've created a job for me to do, nothing to do with anybody else. So I don't really, I'm empathetic. Is that the right word? I'm empathetic to them. I'm like, oh, okay. But ultimately, I don't really care. That sounds bad, but yeah, I don't really care.
That sounds empowered. That's what that sounds like. So yeah, thank you so much. And thank you to Ahaji for recommending you to come and speak to the group. So this has been amazing. And we did record this. And so other people that couldn't make the group today will be able to hear from it. And like I said, it's so inspirational. As Angela said, you know, people should stay in their lane and don't come for you at the end of the day. They've got other tables that they can eat at. So yeah, thank you so much. And thank you to the group as always. And I'll see you all next week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Amazing.